Hi, I'm Gareth Dyton, and I'm joined today by episode 8, and we're here to talk about this fantastic album from this Western Supermare duo. It's going to be released by SWND Records. So the next track on the album is one of my favourites. It's Ghosts. So what actually can you tell us about that fantastic track?
Yeah, well, I mean that's another one that I'd kind of demoed to a point in a very different way.
Yeah.
Again, it was like piano, it was strings, it was all this kind of stuff, and the lyrics are kind of, I mean, ghosts. So it's kind of like got the kind of the haunting stuff to the lyrics, but it's kind of more about someone being trapped in a relationship or a kind of it's a little bit more about that sort of stuff, but I like to kind of try and keep things in a way that you can sort of like read whatever you want into it without being too prescriptive. But so anyway, I kind of had this, and again I wasn't entirely sure I was happy with it, what to do with it. Ian heard it and did just took it in an incredible direction, gave it this almost like Japanese kind of sort of like feel to it, which I just think is amazing. This like lovely kind of like sort of synthy sound at the start, which is it's just really cool.
And of course I extended it to about 20 minutes like I do with most tracks. I think that is the longest one. I think it's about 7 minutes, but I had to cut a lot of our tracks down because I'm a lover of a 12-minute intro and a 12-minute outro, which and give Maddie 3 minutes in the middle to show her talent, and then just walk off.
You're there actually doing like sort of a Jean-Michel Jarre, actually sort of twiddling about 15 different knobs, and Maddie's just standing there knitting, actually kind of while you do it all.
Pretty much, yeah.
Performance art, that's what it is. But I think with the vocals of that again, and the theme of Ghost, I tried to get a spooky, sort of haunting sound to it. And again, it's another one because the vocals are so good on it. I had to do to a point where the music intro then just stops to just her vocals, just to sort of highlight the quality. And then I think when it all builds in after with the drums and everything, sort of halfway, it sort of comes into a different sort of. I think it was a good couple of minutes before the drums kick in. It sort of then changes it again to a different style, but still having that haunting sound. And I mean, I particularly like that one myself as well. I think it still works quite well. And it came out how I wanted to. It's one of the few songs. A lot of times I go in sort of blank with, okay, well I'll start with one noise, I'll start with one loop and see where it builds from that. But with that, hearing the vocals, it was almost I could hear what should be accompanying it. So and then try to create my mind onto the track, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Really.
Sometimes doesn't. What I took as a listener to that, between the kind of lyrics that you spoke about and the topic of ghosts, was that obviously it's quite very descriptive of a relationship breaking down. And I kind of thought my kind of interpretation of that is that if you're in that kind of position, then kind of you end up being a ghost of your former self. That kind of small parts of you die along the way, if you know what I mean. And I don't know, it just kind of told that story in my mind, kind of, or it tells that story in my mind kind of every time I listen to it.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really good because it was kind of like almost like being haunted by a past, or haunted by somebody that is no longer there, or is I mean that sounds weird, but in a relationship, like it's because we've all had those situations, I think, where kind of like something awful has happened and you just can't resolve it. It takes a long time for you to kind of make your peace with it in your head before you can like put it where it belongs, be like, okay, that was what it was, now I'm going to move on. And it was written about somebody who was very much clinging to sort of like a situation that was past. And I felt was kind of like still very much with them, in a way that they couldn't necessarily see it, but everyone else is like, it's behind you.
Well, a massive thank you to Ian and Maddie for sort of asking me to actually kind of talk to them and to tell you lovely people out there about their fantastic album in hushed tones. If you've enjoyed actually kind of listening to us chatting, you can find me. Like I said, I'm the co-host on a podcast I do with Grammy Award-winning music producer Lord Toby Wright. It's called My Right Stuff, and there's new episodes out every fortnight, and you can find us on YouTube or wherever you get your quality podcast entertainment from. Take care. No stop.
Close your eyes as ghosts surround your bedside. What dark dream steals away your moonlight? Storm